you stare at me the same. You took one look, but you play me like a game. I can see. You took one look and now you stare at me the same. You took one look and now you stare at me the same. You took one look, but you play me like a game. I can see. You took one look and now you stare at me the same. You took one look, but you play me like a game.
I am muted that entire time, but what is up, everybody? How you doing? Again, I am Mr. J Pickles, and with me, the amazing, the phenomenal Chrono Cloud.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How are you, good sir?
Very well, very well. I'm so excited because the Nexus 5v5 tournament, week 2, starting off with a bang. We have Squad versus Momentum, and I'm sure most of our listeners out there will remember Momentum won it all last week. So we're starting right off with a bang.
That is awesome. That's always exciting to really, it's kind of exciting, but also kind of sad, because you're like, oh, the two big guys are about to just battle it out, and one of them is going to be eliminated right away. So it's a little bit sad, but it's also really exciting to see such high-level play, see if they got some tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, if they've picked anything up over the last week, Squad also did very well in the tournament. So this is definitely going to be good. And the map has already been decided. We are going to be at Cursed Hollow. And that's always a very, very interesting map because it forces all those fights over the tokens.
Mm-hmm. It's always, I mean, that map, it's classic. I think everybody loves it. I know I love it personally. I think I have one of my highest win rates on this map because I play it all the time. It's been around so long. So a lot of different strategies for it. Tight angles, so some AoE can be huge. Of course, the two bosses, always, two throw pits is always intense. But they're already into the draft, so I say let's bring it up and get straight into it. What do you think, Chrono?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And you can see right off the bat, they have banned Uther, which is no surprise, and Tassadar. And Tassadar, I think, has been seeing a lot of bans lately. Why do you think that is?
The shields, man. They may have nerfed his Archon, which you still go, and you could always go wall if you really want to. It's kind of a gimmicky talent, but the shields are so much stronger now that his support is now actually a pretty solid support. Like, he can actually do quite a lot with the shields. He's pretty annoying. His damage, of course, is always going to be there, so a solid hero just to kind of remove.
But everything else has been pretty standard. We've got Johanna and Kale on the Squad side, and Murden and Jaina on the Momentum side. Pretty standard picks.
Definitely, and looking over on the Momentum side, they're going for that deletion comp.
Yeah, they just picked up Tyrande. And so, obviously, she works so well with just everyone else.
For sure. The Muradin, it's going to be all on Muradin and Tehran combo. They do have their other two picks to try and fill that out. With no Uther, of course, the stunning gets a little bit tricky. But, I mean, the stun power is still strong. Looking at Squad, as they now have their ban, what do you think they're going to look for to try and get rid of?
Well, I imagine they'll probably want to eliminate another healer from Momentum's toolkit. Oh, but I'm totally wrong. It's Kerrigan.
Kerrigan, I mean, she's strong on this map, I feel. The roaming is always scary, and also that gets rid of the assisted deletion comp, because a Tehran Kerrigan roam is deadly. Just
Right.
being able to get all over, and if one stun goes down, you're pretty much gonna just disappear instantly.
Right. Absolutely. I'm kind of curious. Momentum's ban is about to come up. I want to see what they're going to be banning.
Well, Squad does not have their healer, so neither does Momentum. So
Neither does Momentum.
So they did go for
Rhaegar.
the Rhaegar. That's a.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty strong, right? I mean,
he's the clutch healer. And that's kind of a big thing for Cursed Hollow, because oftentimes it comes down to one or two characters fighting over that Ravenlord token.
Yep.
So I can understand him making a big difference on this map.
For sure, that Ancestral on a Muradin or Johanna is going to be really scary. Johanna's sustainability is already annoying enough.
Exactly.
Muradin's as well. So it's just kind of a nice little, like, you don't get him, we don't get him. All right. With the healers left, Malfurion, Lili, the new Lieutenant Morales, what do you think both teams are kind of looking for? What do you think, since Squad's got the pick right now? They don't have to take it, but what do you think they're going to go for?
Well, I mean, Morales' medevac would allow for a lot of utility on this map, especially when you think about they could get to the bosses very quickly, they could get to the tokens very quickly. It's extraordinarily useful on this map, but they've chosen to go with Malfurion, which is very solid, very safe choice. Nothing wrong with it. Can't be stunned out of the Tranquility, so that's always a plus.
Definitely. Muradin with an avatar is Lili's worst nightmare because it's just so strong. And wow, two very, very quick picks from Momentum, followed up with a Sonya and Monk. That's actually pretty scary. Sonya, of course, getting a pretty nice buff to Wrath of the Berserker and slamming and spear tossing. I mean, she's force to be reckoned with, and with Monk Divine Palm, of course, the survivability is going to be really nice. How do you think Squad rounds out their composition here?
That's an excellent question. They have to go with, I imagine, either some sort of DPS or some sort of a stun to sort of offset. But they're going to have to be very careful with that Kharazim. They're all going to have to stop DPS on whatever target comes their way. If they want to make it through. And, Kharazim is sort of that other clutch healer. It's Rhaegar and him are both sort of the clutch. They've chosen to go with a Anubra Khan, though, a double tank comp. Not that's a pretty good choice here as well.
Yeah, the Anubarak, the Cocoon. I feel Cocoon is just
Cocoon?
So strong. When I play Anubarak, I have a guide on Anubarak, a little bit of a self advertising there. I got a guide on Anubarak, and I say that I like Locust Swarm, but in competitive team comps and playing, with 5 people on comms, a Cocoon is so massive. 8 seconds where you just completely get rid of their healer, get rid of anything you really want to get rid of, but in all cases, if they're only running one healer, get rid of them. 8 seconds is a huge amount of time, and it forces them to either A, try and run away for 8 seconds while they try and bust the monk out of the Cocoon, or, I mean, it just causes a lot of hecticness, and so it's strong.
Right, absolutely. And it's interesting because last week we didn't see this comp too much. We didn't really see a new Brock or a Cocoon being played too heavily in last week's tournament. So I'm curious to see if that's the path that they go with. And I think you make a very excellent point here. At the start of the fight, if you Cocoon someone like the Kharazim or even the Jaina, that removes either healing or DPS, and you can really focus fire people down.
Definitely, and with Anubarak CC, I mean, he's got Impale, he's got Burrow Charge. Then at level 20, if he takes Rewind, that's double the CC's stun power. Like, I really love Anubarak, and I don't really think he received too many changes in the recent patch, other than just the basic warrior changes, but he's still such a strong hero just because CC. I mean, CC, crowd control, changes everything, really, if you can get it.
Right, and I think we're just about ready to start.
All right, so you know what that means. Predictions. What do you think?
Oh man, my money's on Momentum. They dominated last week. Squad is no slouch. Don't get me wrong, but my money's on Momentum.
I do like Momentum's, deletion comp. The early game is going to be very important for them. I mean, if they don't get the ganks off, if they don't get the kills, it'll be a little bit tougher. I personally, of course, after going on that rant about Anubarak, I really like Squad. If they can land their CC, if the web wraps are on time and on point, and they can collapse down and kill somebody within that quick period of time, I feel Squad can just run away with it.
That's absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the early game is going to set the pace. And the thing is, Momentum is very true to their name. Once they get some momentum going, it's difficult to slow them down. I've seen this in action firsthand. So we'll see. We'll see if they've stayed true to that.
Definitely. And one thing to note is this is a best of one. So
right.
Momentum may have been able to dominate, but that was, I believe, best of 3. And so now anything can really happen. I mean, one little misplay and suddenly the game slips right out of your fingers, and best of ones, man, they can make or break.
It's true. It's true. And this is one of those games where, Heroes of the Storm is one of those games where you get punished for your mistakes. It's not who plays better, it's who makes more mistakes. And they are so costly, especially mid and late game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think we're just about ready to begin. We're just waiting for them to start us off.
Awesome. Cursed Hollow, too. Once you get the 3 tributes, the curse goes on the enemy team. No tower shots. Minions go to 1 health. Especially in the late game, as you stated, if you make a mistake and they get a curse out of it, oh man, everything just collapses so quickly because they can just instantly walk through, run to your core if they already have a keep. Like, this map is very, very punishing, and I love it. I love it. It's
true.
So intense.
And the other thing to mention is this is the only map with 2 bosses on it. So it's very easy to put a lot of pressure on the enemy team. If they fall behind a little bit, you've got the first boss to contend with, then usually the second boss to contend with, bruiser camps, siege camps. It can be hard to regain your footing.
Indeed, and I just had to sit there and think about it. I was like, is it really? And it is the only map with 2 bosses. I mean, you can't really count Haunted Mines. That's the map how it works. But yeah,
right.
Curse that is the only map with 2 bosses. I never thought of that. It never occurred to me. After all this time playing the game, I'm like, yeah, it's Curse Hollow. And we're loading into the game right now, and I want to take a quick look at this. I believe Momentum is on the right. They almost have the full-on color combo of their icons. They almost have that entire. Oh no, that was Squad on the other side. Oh man, they almost had all the exact same portraits, and that would have been really cool to see. But how about you introduce our blue team for us, Chrono?
My pleasure. So our blue team involves Sonya being played by Howen, Jaina by Risenbane, Tyrande by Insider, Karazim by Schupler, and Murden being played by Corgi. What about the blue side, or the red side?
On the red side, we got I Don't Even Lift on Malfurion, Killadin on the Kel'Thas. Wow, I forgot who that guy was. Serious Business on Zagara. NX Curran on the Johanna, who's getting attacked very quickly. A huge engagement right there. A lot of CC going down. Malfurion getting a little bit in trouble. The stun going down on 2 of them. Malfurion having to back away. A very quick level 1 fight. And finally, Takhoma Sak. I think I probably butchered that name on the Anubarak.
Right. That was a very, very sort of intense low engage. Lots of CC going off. But obviously, at level 1, you're not going to do too much damage. And Corgi here and Insider are traveling together. They are roaming, looks like.
Definitely going to be doing that Muradin Tyrande. I kind of would think the Sonya because the damage will be a little bit more solid, but hold on a second here. Valkyrie and Kael'thas checking that bush. Muradin getting low. They do focus down that Kael. Corgi is Muradin, though. He will be able to jump out of there alive, and just a nice little exchange there. Of course, Muradin did take a nice bit of damage, but so did multiple members of squad there.
Yeah, no, that was very intense. They are sort of going at a full throttle, not holding back at all.
One thing to note is Zagara's creep tumors. It is going to be super annoying to try and gank her because as long as she has a creep tumor there, she's safe. Now they can destroy it and play a very long waiting game, but I feel like that's almost beneficial for squad.
Right, absolutely. And you can see that, you know, everyone has kind of split off. Corgi's going up the middle again with Insider, but for the most part, everyone's just kind of leaning, trying to soak up as much EXP, and they're both about even, 3-3.
Yeah, the top lanes, Sonya and Johanna, lovely ladies at the top lane fighting it out, and Sonya will have a little bit of an advantage just because of the pushing power, whirlwind, and stuff like that, but
right.
Otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty even match, and looks like Momentum's going for a very nice siege camp right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, oh, there we go. Looks like Squad is the first to hit level 4.
Let's bring up those talents, see if there's anything
Oh,
out
I'm
of the
sorry.
ordinary.
Momentum is the first to hit level 4. I'm totally off here. Okay, that makes my life easier. Yeah.
Nothing really too different, seeing Kael'thas getting that Nether Wind. Do have the perfect storm on Muradin. Did not notice that, so he's going for damage Muradin. They really want to try and get some early kills, or if they catch somebody out, deal massive damage to him and just delete him.
Absolutely. And the first tribute, there we go.
Very beneficial for squad here, having just captured those giants in the bot lane. That and Zagara also just being in the bot lane in general, very nice. But it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a skirmish in this top brush headed towards the tribute.
Right. And
Oh.
Howen is moving into capture for Momentum. Looks like it's going to be uncontested.
Yeah, squad doesn't seem like they want to try and walk into the bushes. Tak trying to get in there, but it's a little bit too late. Corgi, though, on the wrong receiving end, taking massive damage, but so is Tak. Anubarak will be the first to fall. And right now, Corgi just able to regen with Muradin's passive. Really nice pickup and a pretty good experience boost there for Momentum.
Absolutely. And so that gives them a slight advantage. They'll probably hit 7 first.
Yeah, it is a very slight advantage, but all those top minions dying will really help a lot. Meanwhile, bot lane, those giants doing some nice damage. Probably won't be able to take any turrets, but damage is damage nonetheless.
Absolutely, and you can see Schuppler's moving in there to take out the siege giant. But meanwhile, looks like... Oh, no, I thought there was going to be a little fight around the boss, but nope, they're disengaging.
Yeah, they wanted to. You could see they kind of poked at some CC back and forth, but trying to catch a Johanna out and kill her is pretty difficult. And the second tribute has spawned on squad's side. Very nice positioning. They should be able to capture it. Depends on if Momentum wants to delay them or not, or just give them this one tribute. I mean, Zagara's pushing power at bottom is so strong right now.
Yeah, Zagara's doing a good job of split pushing, and I don't even lift, trying to grab the totem.
Trying to cast it, the owl will be able to defend him. The stun goes down, blocks him a little bit more. Hammer comes out, that's another 5 damage stack onto Corgi's hammer. If he can get that stacked up, he's going to be doing a lot of damage.
Oh, Howen looks like he's overextended just a little bit, but pulled back. Nice.
The stun going down on Zagara. They will be able to pick her off. Kael'thas getting jumped on by the monk and Muradin. They will be able to get a 2-for-none exchange and secure a very, very unfavorable tribute spawn, meaning the next one will spawn on their side in the bottom.
Exactly, and this is, look, this is what I told you, man. Once Momentum gets a little bit of momentum going,
Yeah.
it's hard to come back. They're going to easily pick up this bruise camp, and that was a great stun by Insider. That was sort of the key play there.
For sure, taking those, huge denial. Oh my gosh, they're even going for the boss. That is a very, very heavy momentum
Gutsy
swing
move.
if they
Yeah,
get this.
yeah. Oh, looks like they've been spotted.
Yep, Tak did see and they decided, nah, let's not throw in the throw pit. go back in defense. Probably a smart choice. They've got a very nice level lead. Don't want to give anything up, especially when the next tribute coming up soon. They hope to be 10 probably, or at least close to it when it finally spawns.
Right. Absolutely.
So, being that they're level 9 and squad is level 8, they don't have level 10 yet, of course. They will be able to get it. Hold that thought, actually. Jaina in the bottom side is about to get taken out by Killidan and Johanna. Nice, though. Nice pull. That's a nice little pickup for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Taka is moving in. Looks like they're going to get this tribute almost uncontested. Here comes momentum, though.
Oh, the owl did get
Little
that fierce owl. Very nice. Little stun going down on Zagara. Another stun. Still going out into Nubarak, putting some CC onto Monk. He will be able to just barely get out of there alive. Tons of beetles and Johanna in strong chase. Sonya now getting CC'd a little bit. They will retreat and Zagara will pick that up. Nice grab and defense force squad there.
Yeah, those are some really good flame strikes going out. That was kind of almost zoning out both Sonya and Schuper.
Indeed. I was gonna ask, what do you think squad will do? I mean, they have to go for the gusto. They can't give this tribute up, but they also need to make sure they don't get 10. And that pickup on Jaina in bot lane kind of answered that right there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they both should be 10 or very close to 10. Squad should be very, very close to 10 by the time the next tribute goes up. But you can see momentum's going to pick up this boss, their boss, in the lower left-hand corner. And that's going to help them split push a little bit.
Definitely a very smart grab too. Being level 10, they know that squad won't want to try and fight them, but now is the rotations. Killidan in a terrible spot is going to get
way out of
down.
position, and he gets nailed.
Now, can squad delay enough for Tak to get the tribute? You can see.
Nice little entangling roots there. It's going to help, but not enough, I think.
Yeah, the owl was able to fly in there and just hit him. Corgi has finally jumped in. We do have 7-sided strike on the monk, so he is going for damage.
There's the tranquility.
Forced to retreat, and this is going to be an easy tribute for momentum.
Right.
Oh, Tak getting Ring of Frosted. Very nice pickup there, and they are not giving up right now. Momentum still chasing down Sonya, or Johanna.
Well, they got nothing to lose. The towers aren't going to attack them, so yeah, they're going to... Look at that. Killidan is going down.
Nice.
Focus fired.
Great pickup, and you can see Sonya not giving up, still chasing him down. And I mean, no, with the boss pushing down bot, Zagara is only there to defend. No turrets attacking. Momentum, as you said, has got a lot of momentum going with him right now.
Absolutely. Now, it's interesting. They got the tower was picked up by all the creep. I didn't even realize that. So you think they'll get this fort right here?
Yeah, that keep is pretty much as good as dead. They are almost level 13. 7-sided strike being popped down by Monk will keep them alive. They'll probably just pick that up and run away. They do have level 13,
nice
though.
Maw.
Very nice Maw. Johanna, or Muradin in that, though, should be able to get away, though. But they continue the engagement. Monk getting very low. Corgi now having a force pop Avatar to get that extra health. They will be able to retreat with all the minions there and the Giant just to deal some nice damage. But that was a huge pickup.
That was. And are they going to go for the boss? Nope, they're backing off. Probably a smart move. They need mana and health.
So if you're squad, you're down a talent, you now have top keep and fort gone, so catapults are spawning. What's your game plan to get back into this?
They've got to grab the bruiser camp, and they've got to grab the boss to give themselves a little breathing room. And you can see that's almost exactly what they're doing. Yep.
They just have to be a little bit careful, though, because if momentum catches any wind of this, they're going to have a talent.
You can see the owl. The owl just went out over the boss to see if they were engaging on it. So they picked up the bruisers. So now they know where they are. And looks like momentum is going to try and fight them right here in the middle lane.
Probably the best time, too. You do have that talent advantage. And you know that squad right now is just trying to get that level 13. And then they'll probably go for a fight.
They didn't, though. You saw that? They let the bruiser camp get destroyed. And they were just waiting sort of for an opportunity to poke. But none presented itself.
Yeah, but momentum doesn't want to overextend. Fighting under turrets and a keep is going to be a little bit dangerous. But they do have easy time taking this siege camp from them.
I'm surprised we didn't see a burrow charge. Ah, there it is.
There it is, but it may have been a little bit too ambitious
Nice,
as
Maw.
all the stuns are going
Phoenix.
down.
Yeah. There's the cocoon. And Zagara got taken out. Killidan looks like he's going to go down as well.
He's able to get that CC down. Is he going to be able to run, though?
Nope.
The Code
Not
of
enough.
Cold gets him. The Blizzard will pick him up. That is a 3-for-none exchange. And momentum, with even more momentum now, getting ever closer to 16, especially now being able to take this boss.
Right, right. It's going to be very difficult for Squad to recover from this position.
So, break down that fight, though. It looked... Anubarak burrow charged in, but it looked like they were a little bit too split up.
Yeah, so you had the burrow charge and then the Phoenix and the Maw, but after the Maw went up, they couldn't capitalize on that CC. And the cocoon on Karazim also was not, they couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
Yeah, gotta be able to hop on somebody after you cocoon somebody, because 8 seconds, I mean, that's a lot of time, but you gotta at least use it. And momentum with this full health boss, they look like they want to end the game right here, right now.
Yeah, you can, and you know what? They just might. We'll see. There's Phoenix. There's Starfall.
The Ring of Frost going down will hit Kael'thas and Malfurion. Kael'thas is completely deleted. The 7-sided strike able to kill Malfurion
Takes out
and
Johanna. Yeah.
forcing them all to retreat. That's a 5. All 5 members of Momentum are up against 2 members of Squad, and I feel that they're going to be able to close this game out right here.
Yeah, this is GG right here.
A really nice Maw, but too little,
Not
too
enough.
late.
Yeah.
What a great pickup by Momentum. I mean, that was you called it. You called it. They got the momentum in the early game, and
Well, I saw them play last week, so I know what they're about. You know, once they get going, once they get just that small lead of 2-3 kills, they don't let go.
They definitely didn't. I mean, that was they caught out early, got a nice little experience lead, killed somebody else, got another nice experience lead. I believe, yeah, Squad was only able to get that 1 kill, which secured them 1 tribute, which in the grand scheme of things, that's not going to be a whole lot in a 3 tribute map in order to actually get something out of it. So really well played by Squad, but Momentum able to take the game away.
That's right. So we are going to go ahead and set up the next match. And as you mentioned, all these are best of 1s until the finals. Only the finals is best of 3. So this is going to be a very snappy tournament.
Very quick indeed. It looks like my, there we go. I accidentally minimized my Skype. But yes, we will be right back. We're going to go set up that next lobby for you guys. Don't go anywhere. Random Championship Series will continue in just a second. All right, everybody, we are back with the Random Championship Series. How you doing there, Chrono?
Doing good, doing good. I'm pumped after that last match. I can't wait to see the next one now.
That was a very, very strong performance coming out of Momentum. They, as you stated, gained the momentum in the early game with that deletion comp of Tehran and Muradin. Even though they actually didn't get too many kills in the lanes, it was more of the fights around the tributes. But, I mean, you called it. They got those nice little kills and just...
It's to be expected. I mean, that map is all about the fights.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that right there?
Yeah.
Ah,
you good?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I've got Discord going on and and the stream going on, so it can be a little confusing sometimes. But yeah, that map, Ravenlord, is all about fighting around the tribute.
Mm-hmm. And as we saw there, Momentum able to secure that first tribute that really propelled them into a huge lead. They had Boss on bot lane that Zagara had to go defend. They had Knights in the middle lane taking out the fort. They themselves were in the top lane with 2 Giants and the entire 5-man team. Like, they took all their momentum and threw it at Squad. And so it was a really nice performance. But right now, I think we should look into the entire tournament to give you guys, the viewers, a little insight onto what we have in store for you later, how this bracket is going to work out, and just what exactly is coming up. So let me get that all set up for you. Are there any matches that you're super excited for, Chrono?
Honestly, Apex put on a great performance last week. Some of these other teams, though, are not super familiar to me. So Drew's Dudes, Divine Shield, Eggnog. I didn't see their games last week, so I don't know what to expect from them. The other finalist, the second place finalist from last week, is not here this week. Pandorum was the name of the team. So I'm a little disappointed to not see them. They actually put up a very good fight with Momentum last week. It was very close matches. So I was hoping to see them again. But in the meantime, I'm excited to see what Eggnog, Flipside, and RFS bring to the table.
Mm-hmm, for sure. So I got the draft set up right there. So as you guys can see, we got round of 1 is a best of 1, which some of the teams, of course, had a bye week. But we see Flipside Tactics taking out Advanced Fighting. They'll move on to play against RFS Gaming. Eggnog and Apex had a bye. Drew's Dudes had a bye. And they will go against Divine Shield, who is able to take out Paradox Gaming. And then Squad of Momentum, the game we just saw, Momentum taking the victory, will move on to the round of 3.
Right. And I think Flipside is just about getting ready to go against RFS. We're just waiting on the draft to go up. Shouldn't be too long of a wait.
Awesome. Sweet. So are there explain to me and the viewers as well, how do the map bans work? How do the well, I guess drafting is kind of the same, but how does the map bans and pick work? As last time I was here, it's been a long time, we were doing the 1v1 with bots, and that was hilarious, and I love that still.
You missed some amazing plays with Falstead, because I felt bad for any player in the 1v1s that got Falstead, because he would just fly into the middle of the opposing team and just get destroyed repeatedly over and over again. It was the most hilarious thing. So yeah, that was great. But in terms of this week, it's actually really straightforward. I think each team takes a turn banning a map until you're left with a final choice. Mm-hmm. So it's just everyone keeps, saying no this one, no to that one, until you're left with a singular choice.
Yep, that's pretty good. I like it. Curse Hollow, of course, being the first map that we got to see.
Yeah, we didn't. Last time Cursed Hollow wasn't played too much last time.
Really?
We had a couple of the Terror, Garden of Terrors, and Tomb of the Spider Queen was also played quite a bit.
Yeah.
Last week.
Garden of Terror 2, having that change to the Terror is huge.
Right.
The Terror can now put the pot down and it will disable the core. That's just ridiculous. Like, that's so strong.
That is going to change sort of the way that map is played. There's my cat
I
above me.
love your cat behind you. Just hey.
Yeah.
Aw.
He likes to play Hearthstone too, or Hearthstone. He likes to play Heroes of the Storm. He likes to play everything.
He hops into the chair like, yo, I got this, all right? I'll do this.
I'm gonna cast this now.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I see the draft going on for Drew's Dudes versus Divine Shield. That is up. Do you want to take a look at that real quick while we wait for the flip side draft to go up?
Sure, let's look into one of the drafts of the other teams. Do you have a link that you can send me,
I
good sir?
certainly do. There you are.
Thank you. Oh, that went onto the wrong screen. So this is going to be, of course, one of the other matches that we are not going to be covering. But
And just as I send that to you, that's when I get the message for the correct draft.
oh, this is just a fake draft?
This is this is the draft for the team we're not covering.
Oh.
I just got the draft for the team we are covering.
All right. Well, unfortunately, guys, sorry, we're gonna don't get to see that. But if you
That's
can-
all right. Here's the second link,
Sweet.
and this is what we're here to cast. 1 second here.
which will be RFS against Flipside Tactics.
Flip side tactics. That's right. And so we're just waiting for them to join the draft. And this is, you're going to see the map draft that we talked about, and they're going to eliminate each map one by one. What's your favorite map to play on right now of all the maps available?
Oh, there's so many good ones. I can tell you the ones I don't like, which would be, I really don't like Tomb of the Spider Queen that much. Sky Temple's alright. Haunted Mines, Blackheart's Bay, instantly vetoed. Infernal Shrines, not really.
You're just naming all the maps. You just like, is there any map left? You
I
just
mean,
named, like, 5 of them.
Cursed Hollow, Dragonshire, and I somewhat Garden of Terror. I really think Dragonshire and Cursed Hollow are probably my 2 top favorite ones. They have been around the longest, of course, but they haven't really received a whole lot of changes. They've remained pretty much the same. So they're always a lot of fun. You constantly are forced to battle in certain locations, which I really like. And the rotations of play that you have to make are just so you have to make rotations, and it really tests your timing skills and understanding of the game. And I don't know, I just really love those maps a lot. What about yourself, good sir?
Actually, I love Dragonshire because I feel like Dragonshire requires a high level of play to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Too oftentimes, I've been in games where it will go 10, 15 minutes. Well, not 15. I would say about 10 minutes before we see our first dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, one of Momentum's earlier matches from last week was in Dragonshire. There was only 1 dragon the entire match.
Oh, wow.
So it's very interesting to see how different teams approach it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much sort of attack and counter
Mm-hmm.
going on there as you rotate between the shrine and the dragon statue. It's really fun to watch people play at it. The other one for me is Infernal Shrines, especially with the recent changes where they made it 40, that you had to kill 40 guardians before the spawn. It makes it a little bit less snowbally and a little more skill-based, and I really like that. And it's just really fun to me when you get the Punisher out and you can coordinate with him to do some serious damage. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, the one thing I'm interested in seeing is Blizzard has released in custom games, they have a test Cursed Hollow match, which they changed all the death timers. So that's going to be interesting to see if they plan on going that new system where if you in the early game when you die you're going to have a longer death timer, but I think by the time level 13ish rolls around the death timers are back on to what it used to be. But they want to change the early game to where if you die you're punished a little bit harder, because right now you die and you come back in 2 seconds or something like that. Especially
if you're like Leoric.
Yeah, exactly. You just instantly die, come back alive, and you're right there fighting. So it really would change the game a lot. And I'm kind of for that. So
Look at that. You get your favorite map again. Cursed Hollow will be the map being played by Flipside Tactics and RFS.
Awesome. I just love Curse Hollow. It's so good. I mean, you're forced to fight at one of the tributes when they spawn. You could also, there's like mind games. You can give the tribute up and have somebody that's really good at harassing, like a Zagara or a Malfurion Moonfiring. You can delay
Right.
them capping it while your team tries to do something else, which then, like, I mean, there's so many different play styles on this map. I love it. It's classic.
Right. And first ban just went up by Flipside, and they have banned Kale. Very interesting. We haven't seen Kale banned too much.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the nerf from Kale on his chain bomb was I mean it was good, but he's still a high damage dealer.
Very much so. Very much so. And Uther is the ban for RFS. No surprise there.
Followed by a very quick Jaina pick. I mean she's strong. She's so strong.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like, unfortunately, the meta right now, for the most part, is really stuck to about 12 to 15 characters. And the rest of the characters are just not viable right now for tournament play, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think, you kind of almost see, especially in Hero League and also in these kind of tournaments, you sort of start to see the same characters being played over and over again. So I'm curious to see if any new characters are going to come forth. So, for example, Lieutenant Morales not getting that much play. I kind of expected to see more of her, but last week we only saw her used once in conjunction with an Illidan combo.
Stim drone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there. Tank-wise, they did buff Stitches and Diablo a little bit, but I think it comes down to how their kits work, where Stitches, he has to hook somebody, and that's unreliable unless, you're just really, really good at it. But even then, if you are, let's say, a Zagara or an Anubarak who can spawn stuff to get in the way, then it makes it even more difficult. So they kind of have gimmicky heroes that they did buff to say, hey, maybe you should play them, but they still don't receive the love. And as we see here, RFS picking two heroes that we have seen before, Johanna and Zagara.
Right. And it's going to be interesting. So obviously, Flipside's turn to pick two heroes, and then we'll get the second round of bans. We'll see. Oh, Sonya. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm really not. And let's see who that second pick is going to be.
I like how a lot of teams now are going for the tanks early. Since there are so few tanks that are like very high tier, with Leoric having been nerfed a little bit, I don't think he's really dead and gone. But he's still there and he's still pretty powerful. But I really think Johanna right now, after the Leoric nerfs, has received such a boost that it's almost a must pick to grab her. She's so strong.
Right, absolutely. So versatile. And Karazim was picked up by Flipside, and now we're going to get into the second round of bans. What would you ban here?
Well, seeing that Flipside Tactics does not have a tank, and they already have their healer, definitely want to maybe get a tank, but they decide to go for the Tassadar. I can definitely agree with that. It's kind of like ban the Tassadar or maybe a Tehran. That faux support damage dealer is a pretty solid maneuver. And Flipside, of course, banning Zeratul, which, I mean, do you think RFS would go for Zeratul? Are they known for playing Zeratul, or do you think Zeratul is just like,
I think with the recent nerf to Void Prison, we're going to see a little bit less Zeratul play. And actually, we haven't seen him too much in the tournament. But I don't know if, I'm not familiar with RFS, so I don't know if they would have gone with Zeratul. I think it's more like Flipside just doesn't want to deal with him. So that might be it. And you can see RFS has picked up Raynor and Murden, both very, very solid. Do you feel like RFS has enough damage? Because Murden, and I mean, Murden could go damage, but will it? It's not the same as going with an actual assassin.
Definitely when they also need their support still. That's kind of an interesting pick to go for a second tank. They are heavily denying Flipside Tactics in their tank picks, and I mean, Murd and Johanna, of course, super strong tanks to have, a lot of CC and very, very sustainable. So
Right.
I feel maybe their damage is going to be a little bit low, but with a very heavy frontline protection for Raynor and the poke damage from Zagara, they may be able to round it out and be perfectly safe. They
Well,
could
they have to go with a healer here. So
yeah.
they need.
The Malfurion probably is what I would think. He's probably the next tier up for a healer, and he does have some nice more help for the Raynor and Zagara. And what do you think of Flipside's last two tank picks?
So, both Anubarak and Tyrael are bruisers more so than tanks. But Tyrael, honestly, has Judgment's one of the best engages in the game. And that will be really helpful for getting past that front line that RFS has. And you'll be able to slam into Raynor and Zagara and maybe set up some big kills, especially because Jaina can easily move in and Sonya can move in, do some AoE damage. It's not a bad pick at all.
Definitely try and delete somebody there. The new Sanctification, not really too new. It's been around for a while. I feel is still kind of underwhelming in comparison to Judgment.
Right. I think Judgment is still the call to make here. And then the new Barak, obviously very solid stun. Brightwing, very interesting.
Now, when you see Brightwing, you think Blink heal, but do you think there's a spot for Emerald Wind?
Maybe on Cursed Hollow it might work as a deny, as a way of preventing someone from grabbing the totem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility, but I don't know. I feel like Flipside is going to be way stronger on the attack front, and as a result, Brightwing has to almost go for the Blink heal to compensate. So
I could almost see Emerald Wind if Tyrael and Anubarak go engage. I mean, that's a 4 melee comp on flip sides. So if Tyrael and Anubarak jump in there, Brightwing and Emerald Wind could be nice, but I think, as you stated, the heal is it's going to be too necessary because all that damage focused on one person, you're going to need a nice little oomph in healing, since Brightwing's healing is very sporadic.
Right. So Brightwing, for those of you who don't play him, he's not a regular healer, or she, I think it's a she, not a regular healer like Lily or Malfurion. It's sort of a tick. What is it, every like 2-3 seconds? Just the heal goes out to everyone in his vicinity. So yeah, that's sort of an unconventional thing. On the other hand, he can teleport to whoever needs the healing, and that can be very helpful because Ravenlord is a very large map. So the maneuverability might be very helpful there.
Yeah, the split pushing capability, and I mean, I think it's interesting to see Brightwing. I definitely am more used to probably a Malfurion pick here. The roots,
Right.
of course, being able to take up an entire lane. So if you're trying to rush to a spot, roots are down. Now your entire team's walled off because you can't really just go in there. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But as always, the teams have been chosen. The heroes have been taken. Who's your bet?
Let me take a look at this one more time. I am trying to get us invites into the match. I'm
That would
gonna
be
go
nice.
with I'm gonna go with Flipside on this one. I think. I think they've got the better rounded comp, and the better synergy between the various characters than RFS. What about yourself?
I think I have to agree with you there. Just such heavy engagement with Anubarak, Tyrael, and Sonya. So hard of an engagement. Muradin and Johanna do have some nice CC, and Raynor has a little bit of self-sustain, but I think it's really gonna I'm gonna go Flipside Tactics, but it's gonna come down to RFS Gaming's Zagara. If he can land the Maws and completely just disable Flipside. If Zagara can maw out the monk, RFS may be able to have a quick enough, maybe able to kill somebody in that amount of time. Because Raynor's he's no pushover. He can deal a lot of damage. So,
Do you think Karazim is going to be going with Seven-Sided Strike, or you think he's going to go with Divine Palm on this? Because that Seven-Sided
true.
Strike is going to just tear into Muradin and Johanna.
Yeah, that's a very good point there. And if the Maw goes down on him, he could almost just use it as a protection agency. Just nope, I'm not gonna get Maw. Let me pop this real quick. So that's a good point. I have to agree with you even more on that. The potential of high damage not only on their squishies but on their main tanks can really do hurt. So I think Flipside Tactics definitely has a nice team here that can take this game. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, and the invite is forthcoming here, and I will get you in momentarily.
Yay.
There you are.
I get to spectate. Woo!
And I think we're all set there. So it should be